Hello, welcome back to the Last Ditch podcast. First sit down really of the season. Obviously, Ollie's not here anymore. He's not dead. He's just gone to uni. But yeah, I just thought I'd do a sit down with you guys because I feel like I need to carry on doing this kind of stuff. You know, the sit downs. Yes, some of you I know will not want to know about Man United. I'll do a sit down and a bit of a debrief of what's been going on. God, where do we start? I mean, Ten Hag has really galvanised the club after the FA Cup win at the end of last season, and really, I mean, you look at it now and it's horrific. It's you'd almost think it's worse than last season purely because there was a lot of injuries last season, and that was a big excuse for it, which was, fair enough. You know, there was a lot of injuries, but I think now you look and you kind of go, he's got majority of his players that he wants playing at the moment. I mean, we'll just look at the last couple of fixtures. So we started obviously the season with that 1-0 win against Fulham, and I mean, honestly, wasn't mega convincing, but we got the job done. And I thought this could be to kick on the season. You can start slow, but you get the result. And at the end of the day, a lot of people say the result's all that matters. And then we lose 2-1 to Brighton, and you think, now Brighton are a good side. As Man United, when you're kicking on, you've got to be really going for it against these teams, you know. And then obviously 3-0 loss to Liverpool, a 3-0 win against Southampton, which Southampton didn't show anything. 0-0 with Palace, which, to be fair, I thought we played well against Palace. Personally, I don't mind if maybe you don't get the result you want, like the win. But it's such an easy thing to be like, oh, you know, the win is all that matters. But sometimes playing a style of football or playing attacking football and really trying to go for the win, you don't get it. You go, oh, you're gutted, but you got at least have played a certain way. Draw to FC Twente and Eriksen, which is a weird thing. Eriksen came out at the end of the game and said they seem like they wanted it more than us, which for me is absolutely so, like, there's no way on this earth that at Manchester United, no offence to FC Twente, but they want the game more than you at home. Like, there's no way on this earth that should be allowed at all, ever, when you play for Man United. Then that absolute dismal display against Tottenham. I don't think it was a Bruno red card. It definitely wasn't. And if anyone thinks that, then you literally have never played football ever, because that was never a red card. There's no kind of thinking we could get back into this. And Man United fans that are watching this, you know, from years gone, not even just from the Fergie years, everyone goes on about, like, even under Ollie, you never felt like we were ever done. Even when we were losing, you always felt like we'd actually get something, even Mourinho to some extent. And that's probably my biggest thing with Erik ten Hag. It just feels like there's never, like, it feels like when we're down, and that's us done. 3-3 with Porto. I mean, this is what absolutely stuns me with United, right? Like, even last season in the Champions League, it was like, how many times were we 2-0 up and we blew it so many times? Like, you can't be blowing leads like that. Like, that is just absolutely unacceptable. Like, you've got to be going and just finishing the game and seeing that game out if you're 2-0 clear. Like, to be 2-0 up and then go 3-2 down to Porto, which, yeah, good European side, you know, but, like, I just can't see this style of play at the moment. Like, I just don't know what it is he's wanting to play. Is he wanting to be a counter-attacking team? Is he wanting us to be on the front foot? Because we're definitely not that. There's too many lazy players in that team. For instance, Tottenham, you had their first goal, Van de Ven ran through the whole team. He had Rashford go around, he lost the ball because he tried to pass it to Garnacho. Neither of them ran back. And I'd actually probably blame Garnacho for that, because his run off the ball was dreadful. And I like Garnacho. He's one of my favourite players. And I thought, what are you doing? And then Van de Ven, a centre-back, ran through the whole team. De Ligt tried to get out to him and probably did as much as he could. He goes right across the box and they score. And Dalot is, like, jogging back and he puts his hand up like, oh, sorry, lads. You think, that's 3 minutes in. You run your ass back and you stop that goal from going in. Like, I'm sorry, I do not get that. As a professional footballer, 3 minutes into a big game, and he's jogging back, putting his hand up like, yeah, sorry, that was my fault. It's like, so get back and stop it. You know, it's God. It's you watch United and you're either going to be depressed or surprised at the moment. You know, I don't think I've gone into a game for a long, long time actually going, yeah, we'll win this easily. Be confident. We'll play really good football. You're almost surprised when we play good football. You know that they can do it, but you are actually kind of surprised. I'm recording this before the Villa game, which a lot of people are tipping as Ten Hag's last game for United. Well, I've got some stats here, and I just want to obviously go over them with you. So Ten Hag's first season in charge, now we obviously know how the first couple of games went, and then it seemed to really kick on, obviously winning the Carabao Cup. I know that's not obviously the big thing, but around that time we beat Barcelona. We were absolutely flying, and after that Carabao Cup win, I thought we dropped off a cliff, like completely, and just pretty much stumbled over the line. A regular thing with Man United, really. Probably post Fergie, really, because never, obviously, under Fergie, it was the second half of the season was when you really showed your championship mentality. And it just feels like we get to a point in the season, it's almost as if, maybe I don't know if the players think, well, we can't win the league, so let's just kind of give up. I don't know what it is, but under Ollie, under Mourinho, under Van Gaal, and definitely under Ten Hag, obviously, it's just like got to a point. It's like, right, drop off. I don't know if some of them players thought the Carabao Cup was like the pinnacle, and that was it. I don't know, because we seem to just, our form just drop massively. So in the Premier League, Europa League, the League Cup and the FA Cup, 62 games managed, 41 wins, 9 draws, 12 losses. That isn't too bad. 12 losses, really, you know what I mean? Then you go to his second season, and because you can look at that first season and say, yeah, the losses went, but they were bad losses. There were some really heavy defeats there. It was like 7-0 to Liverpool, 6-3 against City earlier on. There was a lot of games that were heavy defeats for Ten Hag, and I think that was quite a telling thing. It was his first season in the league. We kind of give him a bit of, you know, yeah, it's all right. We'll see how we go from here. Hopefully we can kick on into the next season. But as we all found out, that was not the case at all. You go from 62 games managed, 41 won, and you've lost 12, to 52 games managed, 25 won, and 19 losses, 8 draws. And that is not good. We actually only won 4 more games than we lost last season. Like, that's not good at all. Like, and we know that, and we knew that there was a lot of injuries, so he kind of got the benefit of the doubt. You know, we did say, look, how many times did he have to play with like Johnny Evans at the back and Casemiro's legs were gone? Amrabat was going into left back. There was just moments that you were kind of like, God, you felt so sorry for him. And then obviously the new ownership came in with Jim Ratcliffe, and they have been brilliant. How he's came in and he's done so different to the Glazers. The Glazers put bankers in charge of the football, whereas Jim Ratcliffe's put football people in charge of the football, so they know what they want. They want certain players, they want young, hungry players to build and grow and flourish in years to come, while also trying to get players in for the now. Last games of the season, really, you know, Coventry in the semi-final, that we were 3-0 up, and that goes back to 3-3, and actually we nearly lost it if it wasn't for an offside, which I don't even know if it was offside. And obviously that took that away from Coventry, that you got out of jail big time there. And no team should be 3-0 up and be conceding 3 goals in a second half. I think there was half an hour left, so you're thinking job's done, you know, wrap it up, and then you concede, and well, into extra time you concede 4 goals essentially. I know one was offside, but luckily we got through. But you had moments last season, brilliant. Liverpool 4-3 in the cup. That was in the quarterfinals. A lot of our moments came in the FA Cup. The league wasn't brilliant, really. You know, Champions League, there was just constantly like going a few goals up, concede, like Copenhagen, Galatasaray, like Bayern Munich. If you lost to them home and away, you were like, right, that's the write-off. But the way we're going to get through is beat Galatasaray home and away and beat Copenhagen home and away, which is not, it should not be hard for Man United and the calibre of player that they have. And we couldn't do it. It was like, I don't know if it's a mental thing in Europe or what it is, but it's bonkers, really, watching United in Europe, because from as long as I've watched them, they always look as if they're the inferior team. like no matter who they're against, Villarreal, Sevilla, Copenhagen, Galatasaray, I know Bayern, other than PSG, who we seem to have the number, like we've always looked like the lesser of the teams, and you think that's not right. You should be have like a pedigree of going, hang on, we're the best, we're one of the best clubs in the world, if not top 2, 3, alongside Real Madrid, and going, right, we're going to take these and we're going to leather them, and that's it. Have a bit of like kind of, and it's like we whimper when we go into games as if like, God, like, let's show them a bit of respect. And that's not the way you should be playing when you're at Man United. The talk of him being sacked after the FA Cup game, and I thought that was bad. I thought that was bad that leak came out the day before, I think, the FA Cup. I think it was the day before it came out, the night before. We're in a final here against City, and it was probably the one game I've had in quite a while that I was actually confident we'd win, because I thought there's moments along this that we've had a better cup run and bigger moments that you'd look back on than what City had, personally. I know that's a stupid way of sometimes looking at it, but maybe it's just me. I couldn't believe it. Like, we went and actually won, and it was just like I felt like majority of Man United fans really rallied behind Erik ten Hag and understood that he'd had a hard season with the injuries, and look at what he can do when he's got the players fit. And we played brilliant against City, and a lot of people go, "Oh, City weren't on their day," so. Right, so what? We still played good football and we win the cup. Fantastic, right. Now let's all galvanise together. Hopefully they back him, which everyone was praying for. They ended up doing that in the summer. They went, right, we're backing him, he's our man. 2-year contract extension. Brilliant, right, let's kick on. He's going to get the players he wants with the right structure. The good times are coming back. And then the season obviously kicks off. The pre-season wasn't brilliant, I didn't think. Obviously, like I said before, I'm recording this before the Aston Villa game. Now, do I think it's fair that if he's going to stay as manager or not is decided on this game? No, I don't. I think the decision has either had to be made now or you stick with him. Because I think it's unfair to turn around and say, you've got to beat Villa, who are a really good side. Everyone knows that. Villa are good. They'll just beat Bayern Munich in the Champions League. It's not exactly like we're going up against fucking Southampton. No disrespect to Southampton, but, this is like a very good side, and they're at home. I've seen it before where you write the manager off, you kind of look and go, they're definitely losing, he's going to get sacked, and that'll be the end of Ten Hag. I honestly could see Villa beating us 3-1 or United winning 2 or 3-1. Because it's one of these games now that United could win it, and as long as they win it convincingly, it depends how you win it. If Villa have hammered us the whole game and played us off the park and we've just scraped a win, that's not good enough. That is not good enough. You've got to be having an identity and a style of play, and I think that's probably what the hierarchy want at United. They want to be watching fast attacking football, getting people off the seats, goals here, there. You've got to have confidence. Arne Slot's gone into Liverpool, and Klopp, the messiah at Liverpool, and he's left. And Arne Slot's I've literally just done like 15 minutes more than where you just last watched, and my phone ran out of storage. Anyway, we were just saying Slot was getting his style of play there. Anyway, on to the actual Villa game that I've said my prediction is 2-1 to United. I think it's going to maybe buy him a little bit of time until after the international break. I hope anyway. I think my opinion is that I would stick with Erik. I think you've got to. I think you've backed him in the summer. You've given him a new contract. You've said, look, you are the guy for us. I know there was that whole thing of that they went out on the look for a new manager, but I think you've got to just stick with him. You've got to stick with him, and you've got to just turn around and be like, do you know what? We're going to back you. You're our man, and we believe that you're going to do it. Put a bit of an arm around him, show him his confidence. He'll probably be on the floor thinking his time's numbered, and he'll have the pressure on, and he's probably doing things that he wouldn't normally do, maybe. So yeah, I think we're going to stick with him, and I actually think United will. I hope it might become Fergie 2.0. We might have this might have a turning point in our season that we end up cracking on, stuff starts clicking. I hope anyway, because well, if not, Ten Hag will not be in a job. So that's my opinion. I think we need to stick with him because I think the players need to take a bit of ownership. You know, the money they're on every week and their lacklustre performances and energy, and you know, it's all good and well going and beating Barnsley 7-0 and scoring for fun, but these actual teams in the Premier League and in Europe, these are the teams we care about actually beating. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, you know, for me, a football fan, from whoever I'm watching, you want to be excited. You know, you want to have people off the seats. That's what they'll want. That's what they'll want to see. The United hierarchy, but fans want to see it. Fans want to be like, you know, screaming, shouting, you know, singing, really, really all coming together for something. Whether you support Man United, Manchester City, QPR, Carlisle United, Wrexham, you know, Harrogate, Dagenham and Redbridge, whoever you support, like, that's your club, and you know, you want to watch them players. You want to watch them like die for the shirt. When like any Carlisle fans that are watching this, you know that Carlisle aren't in a good spot at the moment either. And all we want, and all any fan asks, is you watch a player give everything for the shirt, give everything. Anyway, I'm going to end it there. You have no idea how many times I've ended this video, genuinely. Like, I've done this on so many repeats, and my phone is just like full of storage, and I've had to delete so many things. So if I've repeated stuff here, I apologise. But yeah, I'm backing Erik ten Hag. I completely get why if someone didn't want to, but hopefully it comes good for United, and hopefully we get back to winning ways and being the top of English football, as well as Carlisle. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Any of the regulars, thank you so much for your support. And until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we'll see you in the next one.